Welcome back to Transfer Talk. We're going to cross live now to Paris, where we can speak to French football expert Jonathan Johnson. Jonathan, great to have you on the show. Want to get straight into Manuel Ugarte. A deal done now. Are PSG happy with what they're receiving?
Yeah, I think PSG are. He's a player who has sort of been on the market now since the beginning of the summer. Quite clear that Luis Enrique didn't really have him in his plans in a meaningful way. And I think PSG were very happy when Manchester United first showed interest. Obviously, it's taken quite a long time to get to this point where it's now essentially a done deal. But I think there's a bit of sort of disappointment, really, that Ugarte showed a lot of promise early on in his time with PSG, and it's a perfect advert for what Manchester United fans might be able to expect from him. But just that kind of profile of player didn't quite fit for PSG. So for PSG to essentially make back what they spent on him 1 year later after what had been a fairly underwhelming first year all told, and then potentially be able to profit in the future should Ugarte move on from Manchester United is also quite good business, I think, on PSG's end.
Jonathan, what about Victor Omen? We know that PSG have been interested in signing him previously in this window. Is that done from PSG's perspective now? That interest is over?
I think since PSG lost Gonzalo Ramos to injury in the first game of the season, they have been looking at a number of different options in attack. The issue, though, with Osimhen obviously comes the price tag that Napoli would want in order to part with him. And I think in terms of what PSG need, because they're looking for a versatile defender who can potentially play one of the fullback spots as well as in central defence, and possibly a versatile attacker, possibly more of a winger as well. It doesn't quite fit sort of with Osimhen's profile, despite the fact that many feel that PSG really need an out-and-out number 9, prolific source of goals, but that would complicate things when Ramos returns from injury, and you've got Randall Kolo Muani as well. So although there has been interest in the past from PSG and Osimhen, the feeling is as well to have the sort of money that PSG would need to negotiate for Osimhen, a number of players would have to leave the club on top of Ugarte to United.
Hi Jonathan, my new favourite player to talk about, Maxence Lacroix, on his way from Wolfsburg to Crystal Palace. He's played at international level for France at the lower levels. What can Palace expect from him? Of course, someone who's worked with Glasner before.
Yeah, solid defender who, like you said, knows the coach from their previous time together. So he is a player who had a very strong patch of form a while back with Wolfsburg. Dropped off a little bit, I think, when he was disappointed that he wasn't able to move on from the club the first time. But it seems like this is now the right time for him to make the move. Obviously, we'll pair up in central defence with another defender in Chris Richards, who's familiar with the Bundesliga as well. So I think Glasner certainly starting to stamp his mark on this Palace side. And Lacroix, a defender who many people feel sort of has played within himself maybe for the last year or so.
Jonathan, let's discuss some other potential deals. Boubakary Samara, is he on his way out of Leicester?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. So he's wanted by Lyon and Monaco potentially before the end of the transfer window. Monaco have been doing some interesting transfer dealing so far this summer, gone for a number of very talented young players, but also looked to bring in some more experienced heads as well. And Samara, obviously familiar with Ligue 1 from his time at Lille, would be a player who ticks those boxes. Lyon trying to do the best business that they possibly can on a very limited budget, given the constraints that they're under and the need to sell some players between now and the end of the transfer window. So Samara could be potentially a cost-effective solution for them there.
Ryan Cherki's been linked with a move to the Premier League. Do you see that happening?
I don't know if I see that happening this window now. There's been a couple of clubs who have had the opportunity to potentially strike a deal with both Lyon and Cherki, and it hasn't quite worked out. Fulham most recently in the Premier League, but also Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga as well. There's now speculation in France that he may well end up signing a contract extension, which obviously would safeguard his potential value. There have been other clubs linked with him as well, but it feels like it's starting to get a bit late in the day now for what has been a fairly problematic transfer this summer to get done to any club in the Premier League.
Jonathan, thanks ever so much. Great to have you on the show.